They turned off their body cams. They erased the footage. And what happened next was never meant to be seen. This is the story of Jalen Thomas, a young man who had no weapon, no threat, just a hoodie, headphones, and the wrong skin color. Jalen Thomas was 22 years old. He wasn't rich. He wasn't powerful. He was just a kid walking home from a late shift at work. In his backpack were headphones, a notebook, and the leftovers he had saved for his little sister. He had plans, dreams, a future. But on that night, flashing red and blue lights ended everything he thought he knew about safety. Police claimed he fit the description. That phrase has stolen too many lives. Before Jalen could even speak, he was yanked to the ground. 5 officers surrounded him. Their fists landed. Their batons struck. One knee pressed against his neck. And all at once, every officer's body cam malfunctioned. But the truth was that Jalen never fought back. He couldn't. By the time they were done, Jalen lay bloodied, broken, and unconscious. His jaw fractured, his spine damaged, his life changed forever. And yet, the official report painted him as the criminal. Resisting arrest, they wrote. As aggressive suspect, they claimed. The department issued a short statement. We're investigating. But the cameras were off. The footage was gone. And the silence was deafening. In a cold hospital room, Jalen's mother, Gloria Thomas, held her son's hand. She prayed. She begged. She whispered, "Stay with me, baby. Please don't leave me." 6 days. That's how long Jalen stayed in a coma. And through every second of it, the city moved on. The officers went back to work. The mayor praised the police department for transparency. And the community was told, trust the process. But what kind of process protects the guilty while silencing the innocent? The truth wasn't lost. It was buried. Gloria stood outside the courthouse one morning, reporters surrounding her. Her voice cracked, but her words cut deep. My son didn't resist. He didn't fight. The only thing he did wrong was exist in the wrong skin. But her cries fell on deaf ears. The officers laughed quietly among themselves. The lawyers dismissed her as emotional. The system closed ranks. And yet, truth has a way of fighting back. Weeks later, in a corner store not far from where Jalen was attacked, a man sat reviewing his security cameras. He wasn't looking for Jalen. He was checking for shoplifters. But what he found changed everything. The footage showed it all. The flashing lights, the officers surrounding Jalen, the blows that landed again and again. Jalen's voice, weak but desperate, crying out, "I can't breathe." And then, one officer staring directly into the camera lens and unplugging it. But he didn't know. The store had a second camera, a backup, and that backup captured everything. The store owner wrestled with fear. He knew what this meant. Exposing cops came with consequences. But the truth was too heavy to bury. So he leaked it online. Within hours, it spread across the internet. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Millions of people saw the truth. Hashtag Justice for Jalen trended worldwide. The department scrambled. The mayor called it an isolated incident. But the people weren't buying the lies anymore. The power had shifted. The silence was broken. For the first time since that night, Jalen's family smiled through tears. Because now, the world was watching. Protests filled the streets. Chants echoed. No more cover-ups. No more lies. The courtroom became the stage where truth and power clashed. The officers sat in their uniforms, stone-faced, refusing to speak. Their lawyers spun the same excuses. Technical malfunction. Resisting arrest. But then the footage played. The room fell silent. The jury leaned forward. Gasps echoed when Jalen's cries filled the speakers. The officers were caught. Their lies exposed. Their excuses shattered. And in that moment, justice seemed possible. Jalen, still in his wheelchair, raised his head. He looked at the men who tried to erase him. And for the first time, it was they who looked powerless. Sometimes justice doesn't come when we want it. Sometimes it doesn't come how we expect. But when truth refuses to stay silent, when people refuse to look away, justice has no choice but to rise. The officers were charged. The department was forced to admit wrongdoing. The cover-up collapsed. And while Jalen would never walk the same again, he had done something greater. He had forced the world to see. But here's the chilling truth. Jalen's story isn't the only one. It isn't the first. And it won't be the last. Because just as his case was closing, new footage began to surface. Different names, different cities, the same lies. If this could happen to Jalen Thomas, who's next? And how many stories will never be seen? Because cover-ups don't scare them. Exposure does. If you believe stories like Jalen's deserve to be told, hit subscribe right now. Smash that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear the truth. And drop your thoughts in the comments below. Should police be allowed to investigate themselves? Or is it time for real accountability? Final pause. Because the next story might be closer to home than you think.